Morning, ladies and gentlemen. I was expected to be the first speaker, and that's the reason I planned some minutes to wake you up, but it's not necessary any longer. It has been done. È stato facile. Please apologize. I will use a handout for some sentences, not to forget some messages. First, I want to recap some very impressive moments from yesterday. There was a Lord Major conference in the palace, and this conference, at first, we were a little bit confused about the termination of the conference and the EUNWA meeting, but it was a very, very good decision to combine it. We saw yesterday a broad bandwidth of how security is understood in different countries and cities. It's a very, very broad bandwidth. We saw the problem of fire in New York, fire as a weapon, and we saw the understanding of cities like Linz in Austria, which is quite other level. And we saw Israel, and we saw solutions of Moscow, very interesting, but will never be done in Europe because of law regulations. So there is another way we must go. And this leads to the second impression. The assignment of the charter yesterday. Why in Venice? So many countries in Europe would also offer a good possibility to do it, but it had been in Venice. Carlo, big decision. You spent some sentences in the charter why you did it, and I think you are right in the sentences. Because to wake up Brussels, it requires a big name, and Venice has this big name. To wake up Brussels, 3 governments in Europe are changing in the last year. Beginning from Brexit in England, which is not a money topic, it's a security topic, primarily. In Austria, government was crashed too, and primarily coming from security topic, our Ministry of Interior was not accepted by the political leader. And I must not remind you to what's going on in Italy, Salvini. So 3 governments in Europe in 1 year threatened by security. It's a dangerous situation, and Brussels should be reminded to go to work. And maybe this charter will help us in the next year to change some ideas, to make some wishes visible there. Okay. And Venice also would need the facility to make excellent preparations for documents presented to Brussels. And you showed in your conference here that you have this ability, and I appreciate what you have done, Enrico and Leo, and I want to
Microphone, please.
hand over what you later will understand It's the first Austrian security map in ceramic, not in glass. The first Austrian security map you get here. And please come.
Thank you very much.
You will understand after the lecture what's here inside.
Okay, the way forward.
Austria is a little different, and Germany too. We have very, very low support from government. We need information. To get our awareness for crime back. Carl knows very exactly what I mean. And I compared it with an umbrella. We don't have an umbrella today with us. It's not necessary. We don't think of it. And we have a situation in Austria, you will see it in the next pictures, that we think precautions against crime aren't necessary any longer. So what for? Your organization. What for all the struggles we are doing? And to formulate it, I wrote my first security poem. Unfortunately, there is at the time no forecast for crime, but in some countries you get a crime accident map. For those who understand English, it shows that we are all used to read weather maps, what to do, what to plan for the next day, how to take clothes. We are not informed about security topics, but it could be in a very easy way. And that's a target we decide to overtake. I said we have the need for information, but we don't get now in these years information about crimes, and we don't get improvement. It's just the opposite. If you look to the left picture, you see Austria, and you see some colored spots. These colored spots represent crime activities that has been changed within the last year. So the more red, the higher the crime rate has become. But look at the year. It is 2012. And what is going on now? We get one feature for the whole country, for the whole year. How helpful is it? What does it mean? It's even worse. Seen from police, it's a big success to reduce these numbers from 7,000 to 9,000 per year. And this success of the police reduces awareness towards crime. But what are these numbers showing? Let's go back to 2010. It's a certain state. In this year, from all our friends, about 30 people, 15 people had a burglary at their home. 15 from 30. This was in 2010. Yeah. How good is it today? What are these features meaning for a local situation in the near of the border? Near of the border, the crime rate is very high, burglary crime rate. So, in truth, these features are very high. They are as double as high as in German, South Germany. But you won't find it here. And the next problem is that one feature a year you get, this feature seems to be very low, but in fact it is high. It looks only low compared to the last years. And how many information do we get about crimes in our daily newspapers, in our daily reports? In former days, we got 10%. This is a good value. Not too much and not too low. But now, the daily information goes back to 1% and less. And this again leads to the fact that no one is interested in awareness, in prevention. The topic crime isn't existing any longer. And if you look to the first, the sign, the end, and if you look to the alarm systems used in shops, factories, they are reduced to about 20% loss. So we look to Germany. In some countries, a crime map, as here in Schleswig-Holstein, was used for many years, and in the last years, also in some other countries, such maps were be shown by the police, not in Austria. But we wanted to show the population again what is going on. From car incident to burglary, to crime, to knife attack, and so on. And therefore we decided to make this first online security map. This gives you buttons for categories, which isn't a simple task to do it, which is a learning system by artificial intelligence, because it's impossible to program and to change all the things according to changing of crime categories and crime methods. They're changing. So you have a learning system. And you have, clicking on such signs, short and then a full text to get information. This is in a pilot stage. It's online already, but we are seeking for sponsors. Okay, this is an example of sponsoring. I have not now the time to go into detail, and it's not interesting for this group how it is made. So I spent all these pictures. You can read and come to a conclusion. We expect from this security map that we get a higher awareness in the population. Awareness that has been lost in the last 3 years. And that a deeper understanding and a wide understanding of what is going on in this land. Interesting is that we find some new unknown relations between incidents you won't believe. But imagine, artificial intelligence means you have to learn the system. You have to describe thousands of accidents, incidents, categorize it. And you see afterwards what is going on. And there are some interesting facts out of it coming. Interesting for cities, for example, we are working. And at the end, this map should be naturally and simple in use and free of charge and part of the newspaper, of the online newspapers. And now I come to the problem and my message for you as sign of this chart. This map is absolutely useless if the police is bringing the information rate down to 0% or 0.1%. So imagine in Vienna we have 150 burglary crimes a day. And we have 30 reports to the newspaper in half a year at the moment. This is a political instrument to hide crime. And this must not be part of a local state. So we need for awareness 10 to 20%, and this could only be a request to Brussels. And I give you the first request here for an intervention in Brussels to bring it for all states to an acceptable rate. Going back to how are we organized in Austria, not necessary to say any word about Olaf Brand and Karl Gruber. Thank you for your activities. We are from Safer Cities, and with me is here Max Stefauner, methodical and technical analysis, and we started with city-oriented projects as the first doorkeeper training and so on, and light, better light in certain streets, and training cases. And we are close in cooperation with Kriminalfall.at. I think this group belongs to the best idea and artificial intelligence experts who have the time. So let me thank you for your attention, for your patience. It took me more time. This is the country we live. That's the reason we are laughing, not because of security. Thank you.